Hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. Where we find ourselves today is in Drogheda, and we're actually outside the Church of St Mary's, and so I'm going to take you up and we're going to have a wee look. You can see the church up the top there, but there's a few wee things that I want to read out to you first. And there you can see it says St Mary's Church of Ireland, and the present church was built in 1807. And then it says here, St Mary's Church of Ireland, erected in 1807. This parish church was built on the ground of an ancient monastery for Carmelite friars. The town walls surrounded the monastery and were built approximately 1234 AD. The walls measured 22 feet high, were 6 feet wide at the base, narrowing to 2 feet at the top. And it says it was from this south-easterly aspect that Oliver Cromwell made a breach in the town wall, which allowed his troops to enter the town in September 11, 1549. Then it says the town walls were 1.25, I think that is, miles in circumference, enclosing twice the area of the walled city of Dublin. So there you are. And there's another wee board that we're going to look at here. And it's this one here. So if you can read Gaelic, you can read it in Gaelic, and if you can't read Gaelic, well, I'm going to read it to you anyway in English. So it says site of a Carmelite monastery, which at the dissolution, that's the dissolution of the monasteries by Henry VIII, was handed over to the corporation or the local council. The church was damaged by Cromwell, who made an entry into the town in 1649 through a breach in the town wall close by. To the southeast of the church is a remnant of this wall. Among those buried here was the celebrated Henry Ussher, Archbishop of Armagh. I have tried to locate Henry's grave, but unfortunately I haven't been able to locate it. And I did do a good search, and I also searched on Find a Grave, but there's nothing coming up for him here. But he certainly was buried here, and still is buried here. And he was the brother, or sorry, the uncle of Archbishop James Ussher, who is well known for his chronology of the Genesis of the beginning. So there you can see some of the steps up, which will take you round the wall today of the church, which also incorporates some of the old wall. And so Henry is buried here somewhere, but obviously the grave mustn't be marked. And he was the uncle of Archbishop James Ussher. So there you go. So not only has this church got a connection with Cromwell, but it also has a connection with Henry Ussher. And the oldest grave, at least I think it's a grave, that I've found in here is 1610. And so I will show you that. But there you can see the church. And you can see the bell tower. And I have a wee treat for you, because part of the old church is actually still here. So obviously it was the one that Cromwell damaged. And that was erected, as you can see, in 1807. So there you are, fantastic. So I'm going to show you a wee grave here beside this tree. You can see the walls run right round still, and some of those walls were actually part of the original wall. So I'll give you a wee look at those as well. Loads of history here today, folks, loads of history. Yes, it's this one here. It's broke, as you can see. But this is the Reverend, I think that is. The Reverend Doctor. And I can't make his name out, but as you can see there, he departed 1755. And it says here, so there's an earlier date on this as well, but it's hard to make out what it's saying. But it's 1744, you can clearly see that. 1744. So that was the Reverend Doctor, but I don't know who he was. But he was 90 years of age when he died, about 90 it says. So there you go. And there's another 18th century grave that I'm going to show you over here. It's a beautiful day today. There's no doubt about it. It's great. You can see the old wall there. And I'll show you this grave here. I can't get any information on this. You can't really make anything out on it, but certainly a unique grave, isn't it? Don't know how old that is. I don't know how old that is. So if anyone knows exactly where Henry Ussher, Bishop Henry Ussher of Armagh's buried here in St Mary's in Drogheda, then why don't you leave me a wee comment? And if you can leave me it before I go home, that would be great, because it'll save me having to come back. So there's the wall, part of it anyway, as you can see. And it runs right round. I'm taking you over there anyway to let you see that. Obviously this part here is newer. So quite a lot of old graves in this graveyard. So was this the one now that it was? There's it there. It's hard to make out, this one. It's Drogheda, but it's very hard to make out. Here left the body of, I'm not sure what that says, maybe Ben. Not sure, but you can see the date there. It's 1799, as you can see. So again, that's another old grave in here. And so I'm going to show you some of the walls. As you can see, now it says part of the walls is original, so it could be that part there that I showed you, which is broken down a good bit, or it could be this. I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's the south side, whatever the south side is of this church. There you can see the walls. And so it was in 1649 that Oliver Cromwell laid siege to the town here at Drogheda. He breached the walls and he sacked the town. And he massacred 3,500 soldiers, civilians and clergy. And he deported the captives as slaves to Barbados. So there wasn't a big lot of mercy in those days. The way they done it in those days was they offered a city at the start of a siege to surrender. And if a city didn't surrender, then whenever that city was took, then they massacred those who were left, most of them anyway. And as I just said, the rest were sent to Barbados. So it was certainly bloody times in those days, there's no doubt about it. And of course, Drogheda, the massacre at Drogheda is still very fresh in people's minds today who live in Drogheda. Now, this is the old church. So obviously this is the old church that Cromwell must have damaged in the siege. As you can see. Pretty cool to still have this, isn't it? So this must be the one that Cromwell damaged. As you can see, that's new block there. So that's amazing. Pretty cool, isn't it? To still have this. So I'm going to take a wee walk down here, and I'm going to bring you back up to the church, and I'm going to show you the 1610 memorial that I mentioned at the start of the wee video. See the walls there? It would remind you a bit of the walls of Derry/Londonderry, wouldn't it? See if I can give you a wee view here. There's not much to see, but you're up a pretty height anyway. So you're certainly up a pretty height. There's another minister's grave here I'm going to show you as well on the way. So we're going to wrap this wee video up very shortly because we're over 12 minutes. And I don't like my videos running on too long. So this is the minister's grave here as well. It's sacred to the memory of Jane Isabel, I think that is. Not sure. And she was of Drogheda. And she must have been she was out of the way for the daughter of the minister, the rector of Ballylog, I think that is. So there you are. I can't make the date out there. I'm not sure what the date is. But if you read on down there, it says if we can see that, the stone was laid. It's hard to make that out, but he was a rector anyway. Yeah, the Reverend William Smith, it says there, if you can see that. The Reverend William Smith. So that was the rector. So this is the last thing I want to show you then in this wee video, and I hope it was worth waiting for, because what you're looking at is from 1610. Now there's no information about it, only what's around the side, which is very hard to read. So I'm assuming maybe that it's in Latin. But one thing I could read was the date, because as you can see, it says 1610 November, the 10th of November, I think that is 1610, as you can see. So there you are. So I hope that was worth waiting for, and again, thanks for watching, and God bless.